works for you and me, but I can't just do, gotta start it with me. Got problems of my own, it's gonna take something more. Like I found my heart and a flame in my core. Cause changing the world starts with me and with you, but I will get to the noise so our soul hears it tune. Will I wake up inside or will it go by in a blur? Just what it's gonna take now if I wanna change the world.
Hello, everyone. We are here at Great Awakening Coffee House. This is Changing the World TV. You can find it on YouTube. It's CTW TV, capital letters. And I'm just super excited. I have such a burning fire in my soul because we are about to hear an incredible story and have a real conversation about God of hope and about God of many chances, not just second chances, but third chances, fourth chances, fifth, and so on. I need many chances in my life and all of us. And with that, I would like to start with a Bible verse, and then I will introduce my incredible guest here. So I want to read today from Titus chapter 3. Paul wrote this letter, and it says in verse 4, "But when God, our Savior, revealed his kindness and love, he saved us, not because of the righteous things we have done, but because of his mercy. He washed away our sins, giving us a new birth and new life through the Holy Spirit. He generously poured out the Spirit upon us through Jesus Christ, our Savior. Because of his grace, he declared us righteous and gave us confidence and hope. I'm adding hope that we will inherit eternal life." And this verse is amazing. I read it today, and it talks about it's not because of our perfect life, it's because of his amazing mercy. And in front of me, I have living example of God's amazing mercy and kindness. It's Thiago and it's Rob.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
Thank you
Lauren.
so much for coming here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah. And I will start with you, Thiago.
Okay.
So, Thiago, your story is pretty incredible, to say the least. It's unbelievable, unreal, but it's real. So, Thiago, you were basically dead and now you're alive.
And now I'm alive.
And you're a miracle, you know that, because when I've heard that you are in coma and Rob is a witness, we prayed for 30 minutes. God, give him a chance, give him another life. In my head, I was like, there's no chance. You're in coma for so many days. But in my spirit, I'm like, God, here's the test right there. I'm throwing a fleece. You're a God of impossible. Come and save this guy and resurrect him. So now this is my side and Rob's side. Now tell me your story. So a little bit about yourself and what happened between that and your story of resurrection.
Yes. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Ina. I have you as a really close sister in God, really down my heart. Also, Rob here too, being a brother to me. And we be on this path for not too long. We started like a year ago, and we start with the Sozo Night. I'm already inviting everybody here to Great Awakening Cafe, Sozo Night. Every last Saturday of the month, we reunite ourselves to talk about miracle and life transformation that God has given to everybody. We do that through poetry, through the music, through any creativity that you have, writing, spoken word, also the speech, giving a word, just for say how good God is in our lives and how many chances he gave it to us. Because of his mercy, the life makes sense to me now living in the world. And I've been for 3 times survival. For 2 times I've been suicidal survival. I cut my wrist, sliced my wrist 2 times, both of my wrists. It was something that I did that wasn't right. I was desperate at the time. And I saw myself with no hope. I was hopeless. And I just thought about that wasn't worth living. And he also gave me that chance and gave me another chance. But this last time, this third survival that I had was so touchable because I was tempted to murder. So I'm already going through church. I'm already reaching out for God, reaching out for help, taking good care of myself, mentally health, spirituality. And that happened. I promised myself I would never do it again to me because I didn't want to go to the hospital again, ICU, and all that veil. So for this third time, he showed to me how much he love for my life is and how much he does separate us for a purpose and which I wasn't seeing. So as I was so depressed through times in life, and then he gave me this also gift through poetry. I started writing poems. I started talking about myself, how I'm feeling, and that started reaching other people also. I've been doing this in church that I serve, be serving that in church, and also on Sozo nights. That's how I met Rob. And we also going through another thing called Heartbeat, which is every
Third
third Saturday of the month.
6 p.m.
Also, people can be invited, feel welcome, feel free to come in and show you creativity. It's all about Jesus.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's how I met you. Going back to this moment of miracle resurrection. So can you describe that day, what happened, and how you ended up being dead, actually dead, with 7 shots to your body? Can you describe this day and how you end up being dead?
Mm-hmm. So I was living in a house which had the aggressor lived with his wife, 2 kids, and also his mother. His mother was a friend of mine. She goes to another church. So I used to work at Boston through the week. Every weekend, I would be back home on a Friday night. And we would make a campaign, preach every Friday night as I got home from work. I would bring a poem, participate. And Saturdays, I would do whatever I had to do. Get a haircut, go shopping, go to the gym. On a Sunday, I would go to my church and then prepare myself to travel to the week. So as I'm living there and I see him, I try to make a friendship with him, talking to him, bringing the word, talking about Jesus to him. He was a drug addict, but I saw him quitting a drug. I saw him start changing his life. On that campaign that we were making, he accepted Jesus there. And that made me so happy.
What campaign was that? What was that?
Prayer.
A prayer, like a meeting.
A meeting, 7 days,
okay.
7 Fridays. We were doing that.
I see.
And he started changing his life. And I'm talking about Jesus to him. And I'm feeling so happy for him. I saw him talking back to his mother, showing more love to his children's. And that made me feel so happy.
Awesome.
On the 7th day of the campaign, he gave me 7 shots. What happened was, as the prosecutors we were talking about, because they had investigator, prosecutors, detectives, a grand jury to judge that case. And they got to a conclusion that he felt a little bit threatened from a person that has same qualities of him or more. And then he saw himself losing the love of his mother and admiration from his wife. So he started going crazy in jealousy, thinking that maybe I had something going on with one of them. Or his mother or his wife.
So jealousy caused him
going that crazy.
Right, I see.
As I got home, I took a shower and I was in my bedroom. So he knocked on the door and asked me to come out if I was already home. And he just wanted to talk. So I met him down the hallway. The bathroom door was open, which was always closed. He locked the door behind me, the main door on the top, which we never locked, only after 10 p.m., things like that. So he started asking me questions about that. And I'm like, no, what's going on? So he punched me, which lead me to the bathroom. And then he pulled out the gun.
Wow.
At the same time as I looked at him, I could see the reflection of the enemy on his eyeball.
Wow.
So I knew that wasn't that personal. That was a spiritual battle.
So he was influenced by the devil.
Basically, that's what I got in my heart. That's what I thought.
And how many shots did he do did he shot? 7.
Totally 7 times.
Which were the first shot?
So as he pointed that gun out to me and saying, gonna kill me, and I'm just feeling so pity for him, so bad because of a human do that to another. He's in totally desperate. And so I asked myself and I talked to God at that moment. I asked for him to give me 1% of the strength of my angel so I could go through that battle, that spiritual battle. So the first shot that was in my shoulder, he shot at me on my shoulder. And I didn't know quite right what was going on. So I'm trying to keep myself calm so I don't want to lose a lot of blood. And I'm trying to calm himself so I can negotiate a gap to get out of the bathroom. So he keeps saying that he's going to kill me.
So you were laying in the bathroom?
I was
standing up.
I got the 7 shots standing up. I didn't fall.
Wow.
And I had the 7 shots without saying, ouch.
Wow.
I was trying to imitate Jesus.
Mm.
So as he shooting me and I'm giving out that love, he keep shooting me on my back. I got the first one on my shoulder, 2 on my back. One she came out right here, and another one came out up here. If they would have go straight, it could have hit my heart. I believe God was there with me, just blocking those bullets. And as I'm trying to talk to him, and he keeps saying he's gonna kill me and shoot on me, when I pray to God and I say, God, please, don't put that sin on him. He doesn't know. Forgive him. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Wow.
Trying to imitate him like Jesus did.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I thought to myself at one point, it's probably my end. I'm not going to get out of this. I stepped in on a bathtub and I told him I'm just going to put the hot water on.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the times that I cut myself was bathroom, hot water, bath of blood.
Yeah.
And I thought I wouldn't get out of there. But I was so in peace. I knew something would come up, something would happen. As I stepped on the bathtub, I heard a voice saying to me, I'm going to get you out of there. Mm. God was talking to me at that moment. Mm-hmm. So I got to step back out of the tub. And then I got the 5th shot on my back. It broke 2 bones. They broke 2 bones. But thank God I only broke 2 bones. No cartilage, no nerve. Because that miracle, I'm still walking.
Yeah. And then your head just...
And then as I'm doing that prayer, so God would not keep him with the sin, would have forgive him for that. I already had got 4 shots. One of my intestines on the back, on the side right here, that penetrated both of my intestines.
Wow.
And got out right here.
Wow. So it went through you.
Went all the way through my belly. And it penetrated both of my intestines. And I kneed down on the floor. And I did a prayer that I did when I accept Jesus as my Savior. And we always can make that prayer. And that prayer saved me at that moment. I know Jesus was there with me at the whole time. He was probably just waiting for me to say that prayer from the bottom of my heart. So I said, Jesus, please, I accept you as my only one Savior of my soul.
So you basically rededicate your life to Christ.
Yes. Please forgive my sins. Have mercy for my soul. Take me to live with you. So I heard the 6th shot, which was in the head, on the back of my head. I'm kneeling down and I did that prayer and I heard the 6th shot. Pow, on my back of my head. For a moment, I thought I was dead because my head was down and then I just could feel the blood coming down into my face. So I started hearing the gun. It jammed. It started hearing clack and then jammed.
Wow.
So I hear the same voice again saying,
get up.
As I got up and I'm trying to talk to him, please let me leave. I'll probably die on the corner. Ain't nobody gonna know about this. And you clean this mess up, you'll be free, man. Don't kill me. Don't let me die here. It's gonna be worse.
Mhm.
So he pulled another gun. And then he said, yeah, you gonna talk to the police? I said, no, man, just let me get out of here. Let me leave. And the other shot hit me right here and came out right here.
Wow.
It went through, yes, in diagonal. It came out right on my neck,
Wow.
near that vein. A little inch to hit the vein. So it broke my jaw in half, but it didn't get my throat. It didn't get none of this right here. For that miracle, I'm still talking.
Wow.
And as I got that shot, it would look like I wasn't inside my body. It would look like I was outside and I see everything happening with me. At the same time, I lost a little bit of my hope, but I didn't lose my faith. As I got that shot, and then the second gun, it jammed again.
Wow.
It jammed again, and he kept hitting on the gun to make it.
There were 2 guns.
There was 2
Okay.
guns to make it back. And then I faked my death as I leaned over to the sink to pretend that I was falling, that I was dead. But I got all the shots standing up.
Wow.
And he went to the kitchen. There I saw my
Fix his gun?
to fix the gun.
Wow.
He started hitting the gun there in the kitchen, and I thought to myself, he'd probably come out with a knife. Then I heard the voice again saying, get out of there, walk. Just like how he told the paraplegic, get up and walk for you
Get up
To
and
be healed.
walk to be healed.
Wow.
So I hear that get up after this shot on the head as I did that prayer. And then I got the other shot. And then he say, hey, get out of there, walk.
Wow. So you got up and walked out of the house?
As he left the bathroom, he went to the
You sneaked
kitchen.
out.
Then I got the way out of the house.
And what happens next? What do you remember? You were outside on the street.
Yes, I was outside on the street. I run one block, and I thought to myself, because the houses was far away, I couldn't ask for help. The next place would be a gas station like blocks away.
Yeah.
So I went to the back of the house, and then I knocked on the door.
Mhm.
Nobody came out. I see a car coming. So I'm walking on the street as I got hit here and on my belly. I don't know. I don't want to look at my body because I know it's blood coming out. I didn't want
You
to.
feel blood everywhere.
Yes,
right?
everywhere. I didn't want to like pass out from that. So I'm pressing myself right here on my gut because I got hit. And I don't want to move this arm so I don't lose my movement because I knew I would have got out of it for the
Mhm.
faith I had in love in God.
Wow.
And I'm holding my jaw because it was
So
broken.
you were like this?
Yes, and I could feel
Wow.
the skin on my head hidden
Oh my goodness.
and
Like
this
flapping on the wind.
flapping as I'm running.
Wow. You're running.
Yes.
You're not just walking,
No,
you're running.
I was running because I had my adrenaline hyped up. I didn't want to get it down because if my adrenaline would have come down, I thought to myself I would have fallen. And then I saw the car coming. I'm running this way trying to stop him, and he just kept going.
He saw you or
He
no?
saw me. He slowed down, saw me, but kept going. Didn't want to stop for help.
Wow.
And then I saw a van coming. And then I thought to myself, it's my only chance, God. Either they're going to stop and help me, or they're just going to keep going because they're scared. So I'm running like this, and my paces start getting slow now. I wasn't running as fast. And my strength is already coming down. And then I saw the van, and it looks like it was an eternity to get to the van. I got in the van, opened the passenger door, and I just fell right there. And then somebody take me to the hospital, do whatever. I knew I would get help there. I started seeing the signs in the van, and there was the animal control van.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
That God telling me, as He's spiritual
Uh-huh.
and using this natural source from the natural world to show me His supernatural.
Yes.
Sending me the animal control saying, hey, you still my sheep.
You're still my sheep.
You still my sheep.
Wow.
So right there, I told the lady, please help me. I got shot. And she's started getting desperate. So pouring out holy blood. And she's, oh my God, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the cops. I said, we might not have time. Please just take me to the hospital. Might not have time. I'm dying.
Oh my goodness.
So
I told her that.
Yeah. And then I looked in the back. It was a bunch of cages. I couldn't lay down there. I fall out of the van and I couldn't get myself back up.
Did she call 911?
Yes. They were there within a minute.
Wow. Was it in Yarmouth or Hyannis?
Hyannis.
Wow. Was it in newspapers somewhere? Cape Cod
Yes.
Times? What did we look up?
Cape Cod Times.
As you said, animal control and God is showing you, you are my sheep. I'm reading Psalm 100. Acknowledge that the Lord is God. He made us and we are His. We are His people, the sheep of His pasture. And how many months passed through this resurrection, not resurrection, but when they found you from the moment when you were admitted in the hospital? When was it? Do you remember?
That was on April, I think.
April?
Something. Yeah, April.
2024.
I got out in April. I'll get to that.
Okay.
So as the ambulance came, the cops are talking to me, trying to keep me still alive because I fall on the ground and I'm blacking out and making that strength to get back. As I look up, the ambulance behind me, I saw this big old clear light on top of the ambulance.
Whoa.
And I thought to myself, it's the guardian angels. So right there, I passed out. I woke up at the hospital. I woke up 5 days after. I've been 5 days in coma. Through that, after the coma, as I got up, I spent 2 days without moving myself and 2 days without talking.
So 4 days or 5?
4 days.
4 days in coma.
5 days in coma. And then 4 days I spent after the coma without talking, 2 days without talking and without moving.
But you could understand everything and see everything.
Yes. But as I wake up in the coma, as I'm laying down in bed and I'm asking to myself, actually being a little bit mad at God, rebel. And I'm saying, why this again happened with me? Why somebody hurt me like this? I'm already serving, giving you word. I'm doing the what you told me to do. I'm doing poems, saving people's life, trying to giving out the message through it, the poetry. I'm going to church. It's been 3 years. And Joe has all that questions and I couldn't move myself. And I started hitting on the bed with this arm. And I'm making all those questions. And I passed out. I woke up again. I saw a creature like this length, this size, and the head then had no mouth, no eyes, no nose, nothing. It was just like purple, nice and purple, really shine purple. It walked in the room and then got out. I looked at my hand and I saw the number 3. So I'm thinking to myself, what's happening to me? I didn't got shot on my hand. Where's my other 2 fingers? The number 3 is eternity or the signature of God. And there was a verse that I did on a poem that says like, for our generation, God made an alliance with Abraham.
Covenant.
And signed on his body through the circumcision. So that was a verse something I wrote. And as I looked at myself and I had all this being stitched up and then basically the signature of God in my body, in my meat saying,
Wow.
I love you. I won't let you die. I still have purpose on your life.
Wow.
You are Father. You are loved. I'm your Father. You're my son.
Wow.
And then as I'm making all those questions, I'm talking with something that put in my throat, that mechanical talk.
Yeah.
And I'm being mad, rebel, asking the nurse to move me around. I can't move.
Yeah.
And then she tells me, I can't be babysitting you, Thiago. If you can't move, start getting used to that.
Wow.
That hit me so hard. So as I say, God, why this? Why that? Why I'm going through this? Why is I'm gonna be paraplegic? And God tells me like this, why you come up to me when you're desperate, if when things are good and your pleasure, you do the devil's will.
Basically, God is like, all right, you're calling on me when things are pretty bad, but when all is good, you don't call on me. So that was a hard lesson.
That was a hard lesson. And I thought to myself, I would be a paraplegia or not. I don't know. So
That's
that was the way
amazing.
he was treating me on me.
Wow.
And then as I'm not talking, as I'm moving, I can't move myself. And then a nurse come in the bedroom, the physical therapist. And I'm
Just-
shaking my head
Yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
And the nurse be like, Thiago, you can talk. So I did that breath of life and put the strength out and my voice came out after those 2 days. So that God take me right to Zechariah.
Wow.
As Zechariah didn't believe God,
Right.
he said, you're going to be without talking through the
Because he didn't believe.
the 9 months that she'll be pregnant.
That's amazing.
So he takes me to that point as I ask for the angel's strength to go through that battle. And then I'm not believing he's going to take me out of there. And while I'm doing this, I can't move, I can't talk. He treats me like this, but he showed me, I'm just treating you. I'm just showing you.
Basically, it was a hard school.
Yes.
It was like basically God was training you and
Yes.
teaching you.
Yes.
And here you are again.
Yes.
It's a new life. Basically, you live in a new life.
Everything that happened in Bible with other personalities on Bible happened nowadays. And all the miracle happen on Bible can happen nowadays, today.
I believe
And all
it.
those chances.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So for people who are watching you, I hope that it will give them this esperanza, this hope that no one is too gone, no one is too lost. So there is hope and chance. And again, we want to invite you to Heartbeats, where there will be a place, and Rob will share more because he is the one who is the pioneer of Heartbeats. And thank you so much for your story. We'll come back to you. And Rob, here you are running with this incredible Heartbeats open mic, and share about this Heartbeats and what's your hope for this incredible events, community events, and then your story too, because it's pretty incredible too. And look at you now. What are you doing in the community? What hope you bring, how you encourage everybody. But it wasn't like that 5 years ago, was it? It was a little bit different. Can you walk us through that story?
Yes. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I always had the desire to be interviewed one day. Say, God, all this craziness. Some people just have a normal life. They grow up, good parents and structure and all those things. I was blessed to have a mom and dad and brother and sister. But life wasn't just butterfly and rainbows. It was a lot of hard times. And with those hard times, with those challenges, go through things where, your faith is tested. Your walk, a lot of times you don't see the light in the end of the tunnel. So you have to take one day at a time, put one foot in front of the other until you see the light. So I came from Brazil. I was 12 years old with my family. Coming from a different country, not speaking the language, it was hard for me to connect with my peers in school. I had a really difficult time learning English, or back then, 24 years ago, Brazilian community in Cape Cod wasn't as big as today. It was hard to connect, to learn the language. We had a lot of barriers. I was 15 years old, a young adult trying to connect, and I had difficulties because of the language and other reasons to connect with the community. I used to go to church with my family, my two siblings, and I remember in my church wasn't a lot of youth. Like the youth was me, my brother, and my sister, and a couple little kids. And I remember going to school on a Monday and sit down on a table like this on lunchtime. And they'll talk about the things that they did on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And all I had was like the same weekend every weekend. I went to church on a Sunday. I stayed home all Saturday. Mom and dad working, so I had to stay home with a brother and a sister. So coming from Brazil, where I had a lot of freedom as a young man, as my childhood, coming to America, I was oppressed. I didn't had friends,
You didn't
so
feel like you were fitting in.
I wasn't fitting in. It was hard to connect. Hearing the stories of my peers that they had during the weekend, it opened my eyes to what they were talking about or what they were living. So I started to having desires for not just the things that I used to do, but the things that I was being exposed in school. I remember one day I decided to go out to Boston with them. And it was my first time drinking with friends. So we
How old
drank.
you were?
I was 16 years old.
16. 20 years ago, right?
Yes, 20 years ago. I remember going to Boston and we're all three of us drinking. The driver was drinking. He was probably 18 years old. He was a little older than me and my other friend. I remember I got so drunk that I couldn't even go into the club. So them two went into the club and I stayed in the car, not feeling well until they got back. And I remember we went through a red light and I was on the back seat and all I remember was the passenger telling the driver, this was God. We almost got T-boned and I was so drunk. It was my first time drinking. And I still remember that feeling where I was like, oh my God, just saved us. But it didn't stop there. It opened my eyes for clubs and alcohol, drugs. But I was able to fit in.
Lifestyle.
Through that lifestyle, I was able to live for a short period of time, a double lifestyle. Who I was for my parents, for the church, for the small community of church that we had, and my school. At almost 17 years old, I got arrested the first time. I was the driver, and I was 16 years old with my mom's car. It was me and 7 other kids younger than me. So I was the older 16. What's the worst thing a 16 years old can do? So instead of that being open eyes for me, the rejection and the punishment that I received actually it threw me off of being a good kid because I was trying to connect with people, but that connection created that incident that I got arrested the first time. So after that, all the parents from the kids, they didn't want me to be related to these kids. We're all kids. I was the oldest one. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to connect with people, connect with my peers.
Yeah.
But then they rejected me because I was 16 years old, driving at the beach with friends.
Because of your bad choices.
So that was the first charge. First time I got arrested, first charge.
Mm-hmm.
And the rejection that I received after, instead of slowing me down, I saw that I could still live, I could connect with people. Some people rejected me, but some people looked up to me as, yo, look how crazy you are. Like, you are different. So they hyped me up into do the wrong things.
Oh, I see.
Remember, I'm 16 years old. So I couldn't find good friends. I was looking up to the wrong people, the wrong crowd.
Wow.
So when I got mixed up with these people, all hell break loose.
Yeah. So what were you starting to do? Like heavy drugs, selling?
At 21 years old, I tried my first program. I was already deep into it. So I started with weed. 3 years later, I was probably 20, 19, 20.
Mm-hmm.
a family member called me and said, "Hey, I have this pill, and it's the same thing as you smoke 10 blunts."
Okay.
So I'm like,
Family member called you.
yes.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, I'm gonna save some money now
Mhm.
instead of buying. And back then, that's all I used to do, just weed and drinking on the weekends. I bought that pill, and that pill was a Percocet 30s. They call blue 30s. And from that weekend was every other weekend, and then it became every day.
Wow.
And one day, the supplies ran out in the community. The feds was hitting hard on COVID pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of
That was during pandemic,
it was a pandemic.
2020.
No, not the COVID pandemic, like drug pandemic we call it.
Okay.
That's when the opiates started.
Okay.
The opiate
Opiate pandemic.
crisis.
Okay. Opiate
Yes.
crisis.
Yes. So it was like today we have, let's say you can go to CVS today, and tomorrow there's no CVS. So what are you going to do? There's no drugstore for you to go to. So I remember one day we didn't have the resources to get that Perk 30. And the only drug that was close to give you the same feeling
Mm-hmm.
that the pill was the heroin. And I remember I jumped right into heroin.
How old you were then? 20?
I was 21.
And it was continuing for 10 years, or how long were you in that lifestyle?
Coming in and out of programs, I'll say 12 years.
12 years.
Yes. So my first program, I went through CSSs, TSS, detoxes,
Multiple
halfway
times.
house, sober houses. Between programs, I'll say I spent 3 to 4 years in and out in the
Okay.
facilities.
And then you end up at Teen Challenge, correct?
Yes, and then when COVID hit in 2020, I was in a shelter in Boston on Mass Ave with 500 people in the shelter. And that's when reality hit, when I used to wake up in the morning and watch the TV, and it was like, you got to stay 6 feet away from people. And I would think you're just waking up in the morning, first thing in the news, it's a requirement for basic requirements for you to survive is stay 6 feet from other people. And I wasn't able to do that in the middle of 500 people. So that's when reality hit. I said, hey, if God can take me out of here and give me another chance to do it again, to become a member of society, to do it different, whatever I have to go through, I'm going to embrace this journey.
And then I'm meeting you in 2022 at Great Awakening Coffee House.
Yes.
Billy de Miranda started Sozo Night, which is every last Saturday
Yes.
at 6:30 p.m. And I hear your story, which was amazing. You were doing spoken word, and then you walked me out of the shop and you said, do you remember it was Sprint?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And you said, I was arrested right over here at the Great Awakening Coffee House before, when it was Great Awakening.
Yes.
Now you're sharing a story of hope,
Yes.
and you're arrested by God's love. It's what a change.
Yes.
When was that
So-
arrest? What year was it?
So my last arrest was in 2018, but I was going to court for that case, and I needed to make a decision. So I went to Adult and Teen Challenge. I was looking for faith-based program, and I've heard about Adult and Teen Challenge before, and I had some friends that worked there that it's part of that ministry. So I went into the program. I was on 85 milligrams of methadone. And I actually lied to the program that I was clean. But in reality, I was ready to surrender. I was already going through pain. So I was okay, a little bit more pain than I'm already in, I'll survive. So I went through the program and I kicked cold turkey, 85 milligrams of methadone with no comfort meds, just trusting God that God was going to heal me, restore me, and renew me.
How long you were in that program?
So I was there for 10 months. I received 1 month off my program because I was without a restriction. So I was compliant with the program for 6 months
It's a reward they gave
as
you.
a reward
Oh,
of being a good
nice.
example to the program.
That's
So, yeah, for 6 months, it was a good feeling coming from the background that I was coming from, breaking the rules, not following the rules, and coming to a place where I surrendered everything and I was able to actually not just surrender, but I was able to accomplish with God that 6 months was something that it helped me to look for a brighter future, to have more hope.
So 6 months was vital for change. How did you meet Billy DeMiranda?
So Billy, we met, I went to high school with his brother, and Billy went to middle school with my brother. On the first year I got to America, so 24 years ago, that's when we got connected. And through my life, Billy was that person I could call at any time to bring me to a detox.
Bring you to
Yes, he would
detox.
stop whatever he was doing and he would
Wow.
drive me 2 hours from Cape Cod just because I needed to get there. And
Wow.
I
That
remember
was 2020.
that was during so I've been trying to get clean and sober since I was 21 years old.
10 years.
I'm 38 now.
hmm
So I was 21, 17 years trying to get clean.
So God is God of many chances.
Many chances.
And because we don't have much time.
Yeah. So when I was getting close to finish the program, connecting with Billy, preparing my aftercare, my life after the program, what was going to be my life, what was going to look like. And Billy was sharing with me all these people that he was connecting with. That's how I learned about you. That's how I learned about April. When Billy was sharing the desires of his heart, that God was putting in his heart to open a safe place where we can connect with the community. I remember he used to keep me excited in the program where it's a lockdown facility. And I used to talk to Billy for hours. Wow, I can't wait to leave here and give it back to the community.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Here we are now.
Here we are now.
Billy is not with us on earth. He's in heaven. We don't have him, but we still have Sozo night. That was just recently, a couple days ago, right? And every last Saturday of each month, there's Sozo night in the memory of Billy still happening. And coming back to today, so here you are today, full of hope. You are clean and you are sharing your story because it's such a powerful testimony of God's mercy, that it's not about us being perfect and making it perfect, and then maybe when I'm perfect, I will come to God, but it's where you're at, crying out to God at your least darkest moment, and God never runs out of chances. So it's not like you run out of chances. Until you breathe in and alive, you still cry out to God, right? And
The
so,
day that he is so mercy that the day I got out of the hospital
yep.
was in the Easter. It's the same day as Jesus was resurrection.
Yes.
I was getting out of the hospital, walking, talking, and just for that faith I had through that whole time that I was in that veil too.
That's
also.
amazing. So going back for today, what I see in our community is that there's statistics and study that was done, and it shows that the reason why many people going back to addictions and drugs and things like that, all of us have some sort of trauma and pain, is that there's no place of connection and no place of like safe place where people can truly belong and be embraced, and community.
We need more of that.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
embrace. We need more people showing out their story and giving that hope to the others.
And not to be shy away from where you came from, right? Because God's love can reach any sin, can wash away anything. There's no sin that is too big for God's love, right? And today, the reason why we wanted to do this interview, we wanted to extend an invitation to anyone who is watching out there. I'm pretty sure there will be some people who is like, This is it. I tried to get up again, and here I am again, knocked down, or I have a relapse again, or there's heartbreaking situation, or life is hard. Depression, no matter, everyone has a battle. Today, if you're watching and and you think to yourself, "This is it. What's the purpose of living? I don't want to live anymore." And all of us sometimes go through that. I just want to share with you that there is hope. Do not lose hope. I read today that because of his grace and mercy, God gives new hope, new birth, and new life. All you have to do is just reach out and cry out where you're at your lowest point, cry out to God of hope, and he will give you hope. And also, we want to invite you to Heartbeats. Can you share about Heartbeats?
So Heartbeats open mic. Heartbeats has been in my heart for a long time. I believe music moves me. God speaks through music. The heartbeat has everything to do with vibration. The vibration of your heart, the vibration of the earth. It's the same heartbeats that we have. I believe it's God's heartbeat, God in us. We all want to be heard, especially people with talent, gifted. A lot of the times I wanted to develop my gifts, but I didn't find encouragement. And all I found was barriers. I didn't find the right place, a safe place for me to share. So it was a lot of walls. And to I always saw that I needed to get through those walls to be able to share my gift. And it's hard, but the heartbeat, some study says that some people have more fear of coming in front of the public and sharing than to die or to jump out of a helicopter or a plane, right?
Wow.
But why is that? I think there's a science behind it, but the easier way I looked at it was because it brings healing to you. It takes you out of that comfortable zone. So everything that took me out of my comfort zone was not a good feeling at the moment. But sometimes right after, I saw the benefits for me to stepping out of my comfort
That's
zone.
awesome. And there was second already a community gathering. And what I've noticed, it's regardless of your face, where you're from, your level of professionalism. There were people who just started for the first time, wrote a song. There were some people who are incredible. And that's the key, right? For collaboration. My husband has a composing degree. Help out or collaborate, create something, and do something productive and positive. And that brings some hope. And music is a great language through which you can communicate your pain, your story. You, Tiago, sharing poetry, which is so powerful. And especially Brazilian community is such a passionate community. I believe revival is coming through the least expected immigrants, like me and you guys. Like the least of this world will show hope and God's glory. And that's Brazilian community, and any who thinks they're the least in social status, for God is not a problem. He will use the available person, right, to show his
There's-
glory.
There's so many artists on the Cape. Like now that this was the second Heartbeats open mic, and I got to meet incredible artists, like you said, different experiences in music and different styles of music. With Tiago doing poems and
Yeah.
other people doing
Spoken
poetry, spoken word.
Or
So
Russian rap,
together,
stories.
the different styles. So Cape Cod it's a mix of a lot
yeah.
of different
Backgrounds.
backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going back to pathways to healing, that Rob, you and a couple people realized that there is a need for a safe place where people can heal together, can share their pain, and perhaps get connected to resources in our community. And on first Thursday of November at 6 p.m. every Thursday, I want to invite anyone who feels hopeless, who feels that addictions overcoming them, trauma overcoming them, or whatever darkness or devil you're fighting with, you're not too far gone. And if you feel like there's no place or people who understand, the most important, God understands. So I just want to invite anyone who is in dark place, who needs help, come on the first Thursday of November, which is November 7th at 6 p.m. to Great Awakening Coffee House Pathway to Healing, where you can come, get encouragement, get stories from different people like Thiago, like Rob, and others who had a crazy story. And they will share their story of hope and connect you to different resources, perhaps programs where you work. Can you share a little bit about the program where you work?
Yeah. So I work in a clinical facility where it's from 7 to 14 days. And it's amazing how God put me there to help people where I can meet people right where they at. And I think that's the importance about meeting people like me that struggle with mental health, they struggle with drug addiction, is meet them where they at. So I love the place where I work because the environment, my coworkers, the nurses, all the people that work there, we meet people right where they at.
Detox facility?
Yeah, detox facility.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and
So
I
if
think,
it's needed, people can
yes,
connect.
reach out to me. I can connect you if you need a long-term program.
Right.
If you want a faith-based program, I think it goes by the individual.
Yeah.
So I think coming on Thursdays, reaching out, getting connected, we able to connect you with recovery coaches and
Therapists, doctors, whatever you need. The help is out there. You just have to come, show up, and share, because there are people out there who are eager to listen, who are eager to accept you where you're at and just give you that encouragement and hope. So that's amazing. And you guys, thank you so much for your time. Thiago, can you share a couple ending phrases as we wrap up? Some wishes to whoever listening about hope and encouragement?
Yes, as much as you think maybe you're going through something and you don't see the light yet, but if you give a little bit of faith, the light's in the end of the tunnel, and he's always out there waiting for you to reach out to him. And that prayer you can do whenever you feel like doing. Just got to be from my heart.
Yep, it's amazing. And Rob, do you have a couple words to wrap up or something you want to share?
yes, I think faith in your journey. Faith is the things that you don't see. I can do all things through Christ who strengthen me, right?
Mhm.
And you got to have faith that God is giving you the strength to get through whatever situation you're going through. So I think have faith that God can pull you out for whatever dark time you're going through, whatever dark moments you're going through. There is hope, there is a light in the end of the tunnel. So just speak up.
Yeah. And I would like to add that everyone is going through battle. We don't know. Sometimes we meet people every day at the coffee shop. We have no idea what's going on inside of that head and what battle person facing. And I just want to encourage everyone to be kind to us, yourself, first of all, and to people around. Have compassion and never afraid to reach out, because healing and life is a journey. And as we heal together as a community, it's so important. It's vital to have a safe community where there's genuine connection happens, where you're not afraid to reach out and text like we all do. We have a group. I say, hey, Rob, hey, Andrew, hey, April, can you pray for me? I just need encouragement. So have that safe place. And I just want to encourage you to come to Pathways to Healing. If you're that person who needs healing and hope, please come. And thank you so much for this incredible interview. And I do believe we are better together, and we rise by lifting each other, by encouraging each other. And this world will be a better place one heart at a time as we share our story, as we being genuine. It's about faith, not religion, not rules, not being perfect, because no one is. It's about mercy of God, that God is God of many chances, of 1,000 chances. Remember that God is God of many chances. Thank you so very much. And I want to give a shout out to our friend Zach and its Integrity Digital Production. Zach Millie, reach out. He's the best professional. He's a pro, and we are grateful. So stay tuned Changing the World TV. The website will be ctwtv.org. Click calendar of events. If you forgot when is Pathways, when is Sozo, when is Heartbeats, it's on the calendar. Changing the World TV, ctwtv.org, and YouTube, CTW Space TV, YouTube. Subscribe, follow, connect, be with us. And on December 3rd, there will be a celebration of 3-year anniversary of Great Awakening Coffee House. And to be honest with you, it's a moment of 3 years for whatever it is, nonprofit or business. It's a moment where you either break and fall apart or you keep going and you break barriers of fatigueness and hopelessness. And we are right now at the moment where we stepping up by faith to announce on something incredible. So come, it will be Tuesday after Black Friday, which is Giving Tuesday, December 3rd, 3-year celebration, Great Awakening Coffee House. Step 1, coffee. Step 2, changing the world nonprofit. Beautiful. And come at 6 p.m. and celebrate with us. There will be fundraising and we will share about our dream project. Hey, so come to hear about announcements and stay connected, and please donate because it takes a ton of resources to do different things, to feed community, to create a space. And I want to encourage you to be generous. Everyone can do $1, $5, something. Please donate. It's on ctwtv.org, ctwtv.org. Click donate button. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
God bless.
Yay!
Just what it's gonna take now if I wanna change the world.